Good day, folks. Welcome to Bright Mind Academy, where we bring brilliance to every lesson. In today's video, we're going to look at May-June 2023 question paper that was written by those who were upgrading in that particular year. All right, it starts with question one, which is statistics. All right, so it says to us now, the owner of a small company wishes to establish whether advertising in a region newspaper or advertising in a regional newspaper is effective. The table below shows the amount spent on advertising and the corresponding sales for the last 9 years. Okay, so it means it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. Now, okay, this is probably should be straightforward. Just think 15 minutes or so should be done. Now, we know if I have something like X and Y, in my mind, what should come to my mind, it is something related to line of regression, least square regression line, right? Where you just go to your calculator, press mode, then number two stats, or if you're using the Silver Fox, you can get more advanced settings. I don't know that I'm using the black one, so you can say mode setup, then number two stats, then include all the values of X, which are these ones. Okay, you include this, you say equal sign this, equal sign that, then the next column you put this one, Y equal sign, until the last part, right? Then you just press, after inputting all your X and Y, you press AC. Okay, then now 1.1.1 says to you, determine the equation of the least square regression line for the data. Remember that it is like this. We have something like Y, it is equal to what? Let me confirm that. Okay, Y is equal to a plus bx, right? When you press a mode number two, which is stats, you get that formula there, which is a plus bc. You press that, that's where you input your data, right? Now that they want this equation, you're gonna say, after pressing AC, you're gonna say shift, then number one, which says stats, then you find the value of a as that value, whatever value. Now let's check. I want to believe everyone watching here knows how to get that. So you'll get the value of a as 1730, comma 22, the value of b as 13,96. Then now you can do the what? The line of the least square regression line. Y it is equal to 1730, comma 22 plus bx 13.96x. This should be your equation thereof. Okay, this equation we're gonna use it in most cases. All right, now for easy 3 marks, right? You can also write only this for 3 marks, because all of these, it is 1 mark for A, 1 mark for B, then last mark for the equation. All right, yes. Now 1.1.2 says predict the sales for a year in which the company will spend, all right, will spend what, 500 on advertising. Now this question is fairly straightforward, just that you have to predict the sales for a year in which the company will spend. So amount spent, it is the value of X, right? So on the value of X here, you'll input what? You'll input this value here. Then you get that predicted sales for that particular year thereof. Okay, so what I mean is that you're gonna say Y it is equal to 1730, comma 22 plus plus 13,96 into, you substitute this one, 28,500. All right, remember it is in rand here. Okay, it is in rand, but either way that's not important. Then the value that you get there, you should get something like 399,599. I'm not sure if I'm coding that correctly, so if not, I'm sorry. Then 399,599.64. This is the amount you get. Okay, 1 mark for substituting, 1 mark for the final answer. Very straightforward, right? Yes. 1.1.3, How does the correlation coefficient, write down the coefficient, hey, but ma'am, correlation coefficient of the data. Now remember what's that? That is the value of R, right? Now you still apply the very same thing. You say shift, then you press 1, which says stats, then you press number 5, which says number 5 says something like, I'm not sure if it's number 5 or what, but yes, you know how to get the value of R, Ms. Then the value of R that you are supposed to get, it is 0.98. Remember, this is what we refer to as strong, what? Positive, strong positive correlation. Okay? Yes. Okay, let's see if there is describe the association between the amount spent on advertising in the regional newspaper and the sales. Now, what they mean is that explain the correlation, the relationship between the what? The sales, or the amount spent on advertising as well as the sales, right? Now, let's see something. Can you see that when the amount is increases, can you see from here to here the amount increases? Similarly to the sales, they increase. From here to here, it is an increase, it increases. It is an increase, it increases. It decrease, of course we expect it to decrease, right? It returns back to increasing, it increases again. Can you see that? So it means now the relationship is directly proportional, but not, that's not how we say in statistics. Rather, we'll say now there is a very, we'll say now, where can I write that? I can say there is a very strong positive correlation relation between the amount spent on sales, on advertising rather, and sales. Okay, and sales. Now the important part here, it is a very strong positive. Okay, it is a very strong positive correlation. This is your mark. The other English is not necessarily important. What's important is this one. It is a very strong positive correlation. The other part is just, yeah, you answering the question fully. But the important part is that it is a very strong positive correlation. Okay. Remember, if the value of R is let me see, if the value of R, it is equal to something like 0.9 or something 0.8, it is a what? It is I think it is between, if I'm not mistaken, if R is between 1 and I think 0.8, I'm not so sure. Then if it is between equal, I think I've forgotten, but yeah, try to have an idea of this. 0.5, we say this is a strong positive. Okay, this one we say it is a average or medium, average positive correlation. Then we have R between 0.5 and 0.1, I think. So we say this is a weak positive. Okay. Similarly, if it is negative and negative, what will change is this part. Okay, the positive as well as the negative part. That's what I wanted to just clarify a little bit in case you have forgotten. Okay, now let's move on to 1.2. Now, the profit that the small company made over this one, it is this one, right? Now, this one, remember, it is a statistics from grade 11. You just say mode, stats, then you press this one, 1 minus VAR. For this one variable data, you just press 1 minus var or VAR, however you call it. Okay, then now you press your things, you become nice. Now they say now calculate the mean profit. Remember what's the mean profit? Remember this one, you just need your calculator. But for mean, remember it is the sum of all your data. The sum of profit, I can say the sum of profit divided by the number of years. In this case, when I sum all of this, I get something like 155 or 1,500,000 and yo, I don't know how to call these numbers, but yeah, something like this 1,552,195 divided by the number of years. Remember, for 9 years, right? For 9 years, 9, you get an answer of 172, 172, 466.11. Okay, 172.66. But remember, you are using your calculator. Remember, statistics is just a calculator skill. You just need to say this. X bar, it is equal to, your calculator will give you that answer, 172, 466.11, 2 marks. Why? Because you have your calculator that can do all this for you. What is the standard deviation? Standard deviation, you can also get from the calculator also. A standard deviation, it is something like 50, 56, 950, comma 09. For 1 mark only, determine the number of years in which the company made profit that was greater than 1 standard deviation above the mean. Now remember, 1 standard deviation above the mean, it is something like within the mean. Let's say, let me remind people, within the standard deviation, what within, you're gonna say it is X bar minus the standard deviation, mean minus standard deviation, and mean plus standard deviation. This, it is when they want that is between, okay, or within. Above, you're gonna say X bar plus, okay. Now they say determine the number of years in which the company made profit was greater than 1 standard deviation above. So 1 standard deviation above the mean. Okay. Now this is 1 standard above the mean. Below, you're gonna say X bar minus 1 standard deviation below. The examiner can be smart and say that is 2 standards above the mean. So 2 standards above the mean, above, below. For above, it is 2 standards. Can you see that? Not 26. 2 standards. Can you see that? Then 2 standards below. Okay, standard deviation below the mean. Can you see 1 standard? 1 standard above or below 2 standards. So you have to multiply your standard deviation by 2 there off. Even if the examiner says 3, you now know the factor that you have to multiply is only the standard deviation. I hope you are following. I hope that's clear. I don't know which one will appear. If you are writing your exam in 2025 or whatever year that you encountered this video, just be aware of that. But for this one, is going to be that was 1 standard deviation above the mean. So I said we're going to say this. It's going to be 1 standard deviation above the mean. What is our mean? Our mean, it is 172.466.11 plus our standard deviation there of 56,950.09. Then you get an answer that is something like 22,940 16, 2294, 16.20. You are not done. You are not done. Let's answer the question. Determine the number of years in which the company made a profit that was great, meaning which money among these profits, which one is higher than this amount here? So we have to look for that. This one is lower. This one is lower. It should be higher than 229416, right? This one is lower. 24. This is 22. This one is higher. Okay, let me just remove this. This one is lower. 27, 20. This one is higher. This one is lower. 207, 222 is lower. Is lower. So how many years they're off? 2 years. Okay, 2 years. So do you see how you answered it? You gave therefore 2 years, because the question was determine the number of years in which the company made a profit that was greater. Your first mark, it is here. Then your second mark, it is concluding that it is 2 years. Okay, yes. So that's all for the question one. So let's move on to question two. Please follow up with me to question two.